Hey y'all, it's your girl Symone and welcome back to my channel. If y'all can see by the title, today is another story time. Y'all, I just want to say, let me first say what I say at the end of that. Okay, so before we get into this video, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, give a girl a thumbs up and comment down below because we on the road to what? Oops, my bad. 100K. Okay. So before, I want to just do a little disclaimer. Y'all, I'm trying to give the best energy possible, but y'all, I feel like I'm not sick or anything like that, but I just feel like, I feel so drained. So if at any moment my energy just seems off, that's why. But I'm trying to keep it up for y'all. Anyway, so let's get straight into this video. I don't know what it's titled, but this video take place back a long time ago. So I wanted to tell this story because it was like a funny situation and I just had to sit there. I was gonna record it last night, but I was like, hold on, I need to kind of refresh myself on a lot of these parts of the story because this happened when I was in middle school, but it's a good one, I promise. All right, so y'all, way back when I was in middle school, y'all, oh my God. So y'all already know it's over. Oh boy, y'all. Okay, but let's get into it. All right, so back when I was in middle school, y'all, if I could find some pictures, I'll post them right there. I should have some pictures, I don't know. But anyway, back when I was in middle school, I don't know, back then, y'all, I was like super insecure. Like, I used to just think that I was just not cute at all. Like, I did not think nothing about me was cute. And I'm saying that because for a reason, right? So I used to just always wear my hair blow dried out, and my eyebrows, I probably just start getting them arched, and if I didn't, y'all, I used to have a unibrow. Okay, like I just was my clothes would be clean, like, you know, I didn't stink or nothing like that, but other than that, I wasn't like really girly or nothing like that. It was just like whatever. All right, so fast forward. So one day at school, I used to have an iPod shuffle. This is iPod shuffle, this far back. So I had an iPod shuffle or whatever, right? And a lot of people used to ask to use my iPod, so I used to have like a lot of good music on there, shit like that. But it's a shuffle, so of course people can't see what they playing, but whatever. So anyway, I used to have a lot of good music on there, so like people would ask to borrow it. So one day, this boy, he don't really need the name, he was my homeboy, he asked to borrow it or whatever, right? He used to always ask. So I'd be like, all right. He'd be like, can I borrow it for this period? I'd be like, yeah, sure. So he asked to borrow it or whatever, and he always do, right? So I was supposed to get it back, probably let's say it was like second period or something like that. I don't really remember the exact period, but I was supposed to get it back afterwards. Like, he was supposed to come to my class and give it back to me before I go to, like, let's say third period, right? So he didn't end up giving it back to me. I didn't see him, but so I was just like, whatever. So I ended up just going to class. So when I'm in class, y'all, I'm sitting there, you know, got my books, like got my book out, got my little composition journal, just waiting, about to do my work or whatever, waiting for the teacher to start. This boy come in class, y'all. This boy, he was in the class, and we're gonna name him Sean. That's not his real name, but we just gonna name him Sean. So this boy, Sean, had came in the class or whatever, right? And let me tell y'all, Sean was cute. He was in my grade, of course, because he was in my class. He was cute as hell. He was super popular. We was in the 7th grade. No, at this time, we was in the 7th or 8th grade. This time we was in the 8th grade. We was in the 8th grade. So he was real cute. And even before, like, he been going there since 6th grade, but he was always popular. Like, when he was in 6th grade, he used to have 8th grade girls on him. 7th grade girls, like, he was real cute. Like, Sean was fine, okay? And he used to always have girls on him, like, he was super popular or whatever. So I used to think he was cute, but I never thought Sean paid me any attention. So Sean walked up into the class, and he used to sit, like, I used to sit on this row, and he used to sit on the next row, but a seat up from me. So he walked into the class, and instead of going to his seat, he walks over to me. At this point, I'm shaking and shitting bricks in the inside, because what are you over here for? So he was like, is this yours? And he had the iPod in his hand. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he was like, so-and-so told me to give it to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, because he didn't see you, so he had told me to give it to you. So I'm like, okay. Mind you, he's not handing me the iPod or nothing. He's just saying it. And then he was like, do you mind if I listen to it during this class? Like, you know, can I listen to it? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead. Y'all, so, because I was just sitting there, like, I was so nervous. So I didn't want to reach out to it and be shaking like this, like, thanks. So I was just really just sitting there waiting for him to sit it down. So when he asked if he could listen to it, I'm like, yeah. So I'm thinking, like, okay, Sean gonna be asking to listen. Hopefully he like my music selection, because then we could talk about music or something. But anyway. So anyway, time go by, whatever, the class is over. So before the class is over, he go over there to my desk and he give my iPod back. But when he gave my iPod back, he took my composition book, right? So I'm watching him, kind of looking like, what is he doing? I didn't say shit to him because, again, like I said, I was shy as hell and I was nervous as hell, and he was cute and I thought I was ugly. So I wasn't finna say nothing until I just let him take it. He took it and he went and sat at his desk and he started writing in the last page. So he gave it back to me with it still open, and he was all like, like pointed at what he wrote. He put call me, y'all, and he put his number, and then he closed it and he walked off. That was it. And when I tell y'all, I could not get up because my legs felt like noodles. Like if I got up, I probably would have fell to the ground, because I'm thinking like, call him for what? So at this point, I'm really just nervous as hell, y'all. I used to always think dumb shit. Like I still to this day be thinking stupid shit like that too. Like at this point when he was like, call me, I'm thinking like, is this a joke? Like what is he trying to do? Is he trying to humiliate me or something? So at first I wasn't gonna call, right? But I was telling my friends, and I was telling Toxic and shit. Yes, you go way back. So I was telling my friends, and I was telling Toxic and stuff like that, and they was like, you should call him. So I'm like, all right. So when I got home, y'all, I called him or whatever. And when I called him, I'm like, his mama answered the phone, and she not in, okay, I'm gonna have more stories about him, because y'all, his mama, but anyway, his mama answered the phone, and she like, hello? Like she was just rude with it, like, hello, who is this? Like, damn bitch, can I say hi to you? So I'm just like, Symone, can I speak to Sean? And she was like, Sean? Symone? Who is Symone? Hold on, Sean, who is Symone? Somebody named Symone is on the phone. So he like, Symone? I don't know a Symone. So I'm just thinking like, this was a joke. This was a damn joke, because bitch, you wrote your motherfucking number in my book. Like, I didn't ask for your number. Like, I'm thinking maybe he want music on his iPod if he have one. I don't know. So anyway, he got on the phone, because at this point I was finna hang up because I was so embarrassed. So he got on the phone, he like, hello? I'm like, hey Sean, it's Symone. He was like, Symone? I'm like, yeah, Symone. And he was like, where do I know you from? Man, cause Symone, like, you know, he really was playing on my top, like, who the fuck is this? And I'm just like, what? So I was just like, never mind, bye. And I hung up quick, y'all. But I'm assuming he had caller ID like I did, because he called right back. Or he probably star 69 me. I don't know. But anyway, so he called right back, and I answered the phone, which I'm happy I did, because my sister used to cock block like a motherfucker, y'all. So I answered the phone. I'm like, hello? And I knew it was him because I seen the caller ID. So I'm like, hello? And he was like, oh, Symone, sorry, cuz, like, I did not know this was you. Like, I'm tripping, my bad. I'm like, yeah, you just gave me your number. You told me to call you. So he's like, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry about that. Like, my bad. So I'm just like, okay, like, you know, it's silent as hell now, because I don't know what we talking about. I don't know why you want me to call you. I'm about to ask you what you're doing. What do you want? I feel like these just sticking up, like, anyway. So it's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from me? But of course I'm not saying it, so it's silent. So I'm just like, trying not to breathe, because I didn't want to be breathing in the phone like and he think like, bitch, why is you breathing so hard like you was running? So I'm like sitting there, and he was just like, so what's up? Like, what you doing? And I'm just like, oh, watching 106 in Park. Y'all know it's after school. So I'm like watching 106 in Park. He like, okay, yeah, like, I'm surprised you called me. I'm like, why? He was like, because you don't never like pay me no attention and stuff like that. So I'm thinking like, bitch, what? You the finest nigga in the school? What did you mean? He wasn't the finest, because we had some cute boys at that school. I ain't even gonna lie. Henry Clay had some cute boys. Anyway, so he just like, I didn't think he was paying me no mind. So I'm just like, oh, you know, it was awkward as fuck. And it was just real awkward, the phone conversation. So he was just like, okay, like, well, can I call you later on tonight? Because I'm finna go to the hood. Y'all, I'm just like, okay, like, call me around this time, or it don't matter, you could call me, because we hang up or whatever. He ended up calling me back, and thank God my sister just so happened to not be on the phone, because she used to be on the phone for days, y'all, and not give me the phone, not tell me who called me, anything. So when he called me back, I just so happened to answer the phone, and we was talking or whatever. I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but he asked me to be his girlfriend. At this point, y'all, I got real quiet. It was like, I would never forget, because I really was just sitting there like, fuck? And he was like, hello, like, so is that a no? So I was just like, your girlfriend, like, you know, like, what? Like, he was like, yeah, I want you to be my girlfriend. Like, is that a problem? You got a boyfriend or something? So I'm like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. Like, I'm just surprised. Like, he like, why are you surprised? And I'm just like, I don't, like, you just never talked to me before, like, you know? And he basically was just telling me like, oh, that's because you never talked to me. Like, everybody be talking to me. I see you be talking to everybody. You don't talk to me. Like, you know, basically like that. But he was just like, so do you want to be my girlfriend or no? So at this point, I'm just like, sure, like, yeah, mind y'all, me and him never talked. I knew about him. He probably didn't know shit about me. I don't know, but I was just like, yeah, okay, like, sure. Like, I told him, yeah, mind y'all, why am I agreeing to be this boyfriend? I mean, girlfriend. We ain't even had no conversations or whatever. So I agreed to be Sean's girlfriend or whatever. And at this point, I'm really thinking this is a joke. Oh my God, when I go to school tomorrow, I'm finna get clowned. They finna humiliate me. They finna pour pig blood on me. I don't fucking know what's finna go down. But I really just thought, like, I was just so like, ugh, that I feel like it was a joke. Like, he probably, you know how people play on people top? Because some people used to do that to girls. Like, they would play like with some girls that they, I guess, felt like was ugly girly or not popular like that. I'm not saying I had friends, but I wasn't popular at the school. Like, even later in life, when I told you I was talking to the boy I named Seven, like, me and him went to the same school together, and he never even noticed me. But I didn't notice him neither, dear, because I didn't pay attention to people that was older than me. But still, it's still the point. Anyway. So yeah, so I'm just saying, like, it was boys used to play. Y'all know, if y'all know, people used to play and do weird shit like that. And then it's like, you calling me your girlfriend and I say hi, and y'all all laughing about it. And I'm the joke of the day. Like, I don't know. I really was thinking like that. So anyway, I'm nervous as hell to go to school the next day. I was really want to ask if I could stay home because I was nervous as fuck. Just knew it was finna be like funny, like everybody was gonna be laughing at me or something. I don't know. So anyway, the next day come, I'm at school or whatever. I'm in class, you know, everything's going as usual. Then it's time to go to the same class with him. I'm scared. Like, I am so scared. So I go in the classroom, you know, sometimes he would come in late. Class start, he never came into class, so he's not even there. So at this point, I'm really fucking nervous. So his homeboy was in that class too, and we're gonna call him, that was his best friend, we're gonna call him Tats. Let's just call him Tats. So it's like middle of the class or whatever. Tats walk up to me, and we only called him Tats because he had not taxes, like he wasn't doing taxes in 8th grade, but tats, like tattoos, because he was like one of the first people I've seen at the school with a tattoo. Anyway, so Tats walk up to me, and he was just like, where your nigga at? So I'm sitting here like, who? Mind you, me and Tats would talk sometimes. Like, we wasn't the best friends, but I spoke to Tats versus me ever speaking to Sean. So Tats was like, where your nigga at? So I'm like, who? And he was like, yo boyfriend, cuz, like, where he at? Like, you know. So I'm like, who is my boyfriend? And he was like, oh, let me find out you not claiming a homie. I'm gonna tell him. And I was like, oh, no. I'm like, I forgot. Like, my bad. Like, we just got together last night. Like, I forgot. Like, he was just like, yeah, whatever. He was like, but where he at though? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I guess he didn't come today. He's like, yeah, he didn't come today. Then why the fuck are you asking me? You know that he didn't come today. Clearly you know, because you talked to him. That's how you know that he's my man now. Like, so anyway, that happened, whatever. So now it's like later in the day, we go to lunch. Y'all, Tats at this point was messy as fuck. Him and Sean, actually, because Sean told him to do this shit, I believe. So anyway, I'm at lunch, I'm talking to my friends, we on the yard or whatever. Tats come over to me, and he was just like, Symone, like, come, you gotta come with me real quick. So I'm like, where we going? He was all like, you Sean girl now, I gotta introduce you to some people so they don't talk to you. And I'm just thinking, like, who the fuck wanna talk to my ugly ass anyway? Like, nobody gonna try to talk to me. I didn't say that, but I was just thinking, like, he ain't got nothing to worry about. Ain't nobody checking for me. Like, I'm surprised he checked for me. And I'm at this point really thinking it's a joke, because I'm just like, he didn't come today. He didn't tell me he wasn't coming today. Now you talking about something, you gotta introduce me to people. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna be right there and throw blood on me and be like, I don't like you? Like, I don't fucking know. So I don't know. I'm like, they like, where you trying to take her? And he was like, I'm just trying to show her some people. But he got this smile on his face. And even still to this day, like, I haven't seen him probably like a year now. But even still, like, he would have this smile on his face. And it would really have you thinking, like, you finna do something weird. Like, you finna do something, like, sneaky. Like, you up to something type of smile. You know when people have that smile where it be like, why are you smiling? Like, you gotta question it, like, what they finna do? So anyway, Tats was like, come on, cuz. So basically, like, you coming, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. And put his arm around me. And he put his arm around me, and we was walking. So he like, yeah, I'm gonna just introduce you to a few people. Like, what you scared for? So I'm like, I'm not. Like, and then it was this one part, like, these bleachers, and people used to be like on the bleachers and shit like that. So I'm thinking like, oh my god, because like I said, I used to be real shy, kind of. Like, only people who knew me, like, knew the real me was people that was my friends. That's the only people I'm opening up to. So, or like people I'm just comfortable with. Like, but being around other people, like, stuff like that, like, don't take me over there with all the popular people. Like, I don't know them. Like, don't take me over there. So I'm thinking we finna go that way, because he walking towards that way. I'm just thinking like, oh my god, Tats, don't. So I'm like, don't take me over there. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't care. I don't gotta meet nobody. He was like, nah, we ain't going over there. I'm gonna take you somewhere else. So we walked, like, not right there, but right before you get right there, and we walked over to the side, and it was a group of girls. And it's crazy because I never paid attention to these girls before. Like, I never really noticed them. No, okay, I'm lying. One of them I did know, and I used to talk to her. She was a sweet girl, whatever. But the other girls I never even, like, really seen or nothing like that. You know, how you never see somebody until now y'all got a little smoke, like, you know. So we go over to the girls, and at this point when we was getting close to them, because I couldn't see where we was gonna go, because it's lunchtime, it's a lot of people in the yard, he like would have his arm around me, but he like put my head down, so all I could see is feet. So when we get right there, that's when he like lift my head up, and he was just like, what's up, y'all? And I'm just like standing there like, what the fuck? Really looking nervous and scared. And they was like, what's up, Tats? Like, what's up? So he was all like, but mind you, one girl was looking at me already crazy, because that was his bitch. So she already looking like, what the fuck is you doing bringing this girl up over here? You got your arm around her. So he was like, y'all know Symone? This Sean girl. When I said that, the whole mood changed. Because like I said, the other girls was like, what's up? But like joking with him. And the one girl was looking like, but now they all face was like, bitch, what did you just say? So he was like, this Sean girl. So this me. Hi. Yo, awkward as hell. I'm just like, hi. And nobody said hi back to me. And he just started dying laughing, and he was like, come on, cuz, come on, let's go back to your friends, where they at? And we just walk away, and I was just like, who was that? Like, who them girls? And he was like, the one girl that like he described her or whatever. He was like, that's Sean's ex-girlfriend. This messy motherfucker. And it's funny because I'm like, I would never forget that, because that shit really just started like a whole little smoke. Like, so anyway, I'm just like, why did you do that? So I'm like, why did you do that? He was like, Sean wanted you to know. Like, he wanted them to know what's up. And he was like, and plus, you don't want bitches trying to be on your nigga, right? Like, you know, and I'm just like, what? Like, oh my God. So he did that. I ended up going back with my friends or whatever, and I told them what happened. Like, y'all, Tats messy as hell. He just took me over there by his ex-girlfriend. They didn't say hi back to me, da-da-da-da. Like, you know, it was all this, all that, and the third. So I go home later, you know, I talked to Sean on the phone. I'm just like, why you wasn't at school? So come to find out, he had got suspended. So he was like, yeah, I got suspended, but I'm gonna be back in like 2 days or whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Go to school the next day. Y'all, like probably like 2 days later, it was like the day he came back to school, I'm in first period, and it was this girl in first period, and she gonna get a name because she's important in this story. So let's see, what could we call her? This girl, we're gonna call her Lisa, right? So she was in the classroom. Mind y'all, we had the same class together. I would talk to the people I talked to or whatever in the class, because I talk too much, so I'm always meeting somebody in my class that I gotta talk to. So I'm talking to the people I talk to. Next thing you know, but Lisa, like, I knew her name, I knew her, like, but we didn't talk. And she knew people in the class, you know, she would talk to people, but like I said, me and her didn't talk. So she came over there by me. And she was just like, oh, what's up, Symone? Like, something, start asking about the work. Mind you, we did not do shit in this class. Like, really did not do shit in that class. So she over there, she talking to me about the work, and then we just start kind of talking. So she was like, you talked to Sean? And I was like, yeah. At this point, I'm kind of defensive, because I'm thinking like, what's up? Like, you know, so she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I talked to his cousin. So we not even gonna get his cousin a name, because y'all, the cousin, whatever, the cousin didn't go to our school, so he's not gonna get a name, because mind y'all, Sean had a lot of family members, like a lot of boy cousins and shit like that went to the school. So she said she talked to his cousin, whatever. So we kind of start talking like off of that. So she like, how we met, this, that, and the third, you know. And I'm not really saying too much, because I don't really give my business out like that, but she's the kind of the reason why I kind of learned to less is best with people. Like, only thing people know about me is things I want you to know. Like, I would not mind you going back and telling somebody. Like, I promise you. Like, it's only like 3 people that would know just my whole entire business, and it's some people that don't know everything about me. Like, so anyway, we talking about that and stuff like that. So we just talking, chopping it up or whatever. So after that, boom, let's say days later, you know, Sean is back at school. Like, he would come over, like, we would talk and shit like that at lunch or whatever. We talk on the phone, boom, 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 whatever. So days later, me and her, we talking every day now, right? And she used to always keep this journal. Like, just remember, she used to keep this composition book, right? Everybody had a composition book because the teachers requested it. So she used to always write hers. Like, she writing hers as a journal. So one day we talking or whatever, and I used to ditch a lot, y'all. But when we used to ditch in middle school, some kids would leave and go to McDonald's and shit like that. But like, when I would ditch with my friends, we would just ditch and walk around or go to other classes, like turned up classrooms, and just be chilling and shit like that. And then so I used to ditch a lot. So one day I was just like, I'm gonna go to another class. I was in class, and I'm like, I'm about to go to another classroom. And so she was like, oh, I want to come with you, because mind you, I would sometimes ditch that period. I would ditch with like other people, but the girl I would ditch with, she wasn't there. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna head out, like, I'm gonna go. So she was like, oh, I'm gonna come with you or whatever. So I'm like, all right. So when she came with me, I would go to my homegirl class, or I would just go to, like, you know, or just walk around and shit. So she came with me, and this time we just walking and we talking and shit like that. She telling me about Sean's cousin and all this other shit. She asking me, have I been to Sean's house, all this other stuff. So I'm like, no. She's like, yeah, everybody be at his house on the weekends. Like, I've been over there for his cousin and all this other stuff like that. She was like, why you never been? I'm like, he asked me to come, but you know, like, I'm kind of scared, like, you know, because Sean was more advanced than me and I was not fucking in middle school. So I'm just like, yeah, like, he asked me to come, but I've never been, like, you know, and I don't have nobody to go with, my friends, like this, you know, I'm just saying all the little rundown. So she like, oh, I would go with you one weekend, like, let me know, we could go. So I'm like, oh, okay. She like, yeah, because I go over there for his cousin, all this other stuff, this cousin. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So we walking around and we end up going to my homegirl class. And we went in my homegirl class, like, like, the security and shit was in there, so we couldn't really go, but like, I went in and went right back out. But me and her both walked in. So later that day, my homegirl was like, why was you with Lisa? So I'm like, oh, Lisa cool, like, I be talking to her in first period and stuff, like, this, that, and the third. Like, we be talking about Sean and his cousin, because she talked to Sean's cousin, and she was just like, don't trust her. Like, a lot of people was telling me, like, she kind of messy, like, don't be really giving her too much business, like, you shouldn't even be fucking with her like that, all this shit, right? So I'm just like, nah, she cool, you know. I'm just telling them, nah, y'all don't know her, she is cool. They like, okay, like, you know, I should have listened to my friends, I should have known better, like Monica. So anyway, later that day, we on the yard or whatever, it's lunchtime. And I don't know why, like, if it's a LA thing, it's probably not a LA thing. Only reason why I say LA thing is because when I went to school in the IE, boys didn't do this. But for some reason, when I went to school in LA, it did not matter if I was in high school, middle school, elementary, boys play fight with us. Like, they would really be wanting to fight you. And it'd be like, why are you fighting me? So anyway, Sean came over there, and you know, him and his homeboy, him and Tats do the same thing, put their arm around you and walk fast with you. Like, walk fast. Like, it really be like, damn, like, I don't even get a choice to come or not. Like, and we end up going, like, on the grass, and he want to play fight me and shit like that, like I'm a pit bull, and you know, all this other stuff. So we would do that a lot. Like, he would really do that a lot. So on this day, he took me on the grass, and we was by the group of girls, which was his ex-girlfriend, y'all, and her homegirls. So he trying to play, and he roughing me up and swinging me around. You know, now that I'm thinking back to that, it's very fucking weird, because it's like, why are you doing this? But I promise y'all, even when I went to Locke, like, when I was in high school, boys used to play fight with us, and it would be normal. Like, it would really just be normal and shit like that. But now that I'm thinking about it, they was hitting us hard, and that's, I don't know why they was doing that. But yeah, when I went to school in the IE, when I ended up going to high school out there, boys was not fighting us. But anyway, so he was doing all of that. So I'm noticing they just watching us. So I'm nervous. Like, I'm not really doing too much. Like, I'm kind of nervous because I'm just thinking, like, I don't like all the attention on me. Like, what is you doing? Like, why are you doing all this? So I'm just trying to talk to him, have a normal conversation with him, because you swinging me around like a damn ragdoll and shit. Like, bro, why is you doing all of that? Like, what the fuck is your problem? So we talking and shit like that. But at school, like, I swear, on the phone, he would be cool. At school, he would be doing the most. Like, at school, not the most, but I just mean, like, he would be playing, he'd be too rough. Like, why do we gotta fight? Like, what's your problem? Anyway, so we end up, you know, doing all of that, and then he was all like, I'm gonna walk you to class. Usually, like, we'll go play fight for a little bit, then I'll go back to my friends. But like, this day he wants to play fight the whole night or whatever. So mind y'all, the bell ring. Why her old girl, her homegirl, she's still standing there? So at this point, I'm thinking, this is when the joke unfolds. They finna jump me, and he got the, you know, I'm thinking like, oh my god. So I'm just asking him, like, why are they still standing there? And he was like, I don't know, you want to go ask them? So I'm like, no, ain't that your ex-girlfriend? Like, you know, now I got some little voice to me. So he like, man, ain't nobody worried about that bitch. She just mad because I'm talking to you and I don't talk to her no more. Like, da-da-da-da, like, all this other shit, right? So I'm just like, all right, whatever, like, you know. So we end up going to my class, and when we was walking to my class, guess who we passed in the hallway? Lisa. So we passed by Lisa in the hallway, and I'm just like, hey, Lisa. But mind you, he got his arm around me or whatever. And I'm like, hey, but like really tight, so I could kind of like see up a little bit, because I don't know why he would do that. So I'm like, hey, Lisa. And y'all, Lisa just was like, hi. But she didn't say nothing to Sean. I'm just thinking, like, don't you fuck with Sean's cousin? So when I said hi to her, and she did that little, like, don't talk to me type hi, Sean, like, started laughing. And he's like, you and Lisa friends? And I was like, well, I mean, she cool or whatever. Like, you know, we be talking in class and shit like that. I'm like, she fuck with your cousin, right? And he was like, my cousin? And I was like, yeah. So he started naming his cousins at the school. And I'm like, no. And I said his cousin name. So I said his cousin name, the cousin that she told me that don't go to the school, the cousin. So when I said his name, he started laughing, and he was like, she be talking to, and she said one of his cousins that go to the school. So I'm like, oh, you sure? Like, you know, he's like, yeah, but I don't want to talk about her. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. So he walked me to my class or whatever. And mind you, Lisa's class was like a little far down and she was still just standing outside. I don't know why, but she was just standing there. So next thing you know, he gave me a kiss on my forehead. I almost melted because we never kissed on the lips, nothing like that. Like, I had never kissed a boy and all this other stuff. So I'm just like, oh my God, he kissed me on the forehead. And when I like looked over at Lisa, because I'm thinking like, girl, because mind you, I used to vent to this bitch about my man. So I look over at Lisa and she looked very disappointed. She looked mad as fuck. And I was just thinking like, maybe it's a bad day for her. Like, I don't know what's going on. So anyway, fast forward, it's like a few days later. Now it's closer to the weekend. Mind y'all, after that day, Lisa would talk to me, but she would just kind of be like, like standoffish. Like, I don't know, she would talk to me, but it just wasn't the same like she usually would talk to me in first period. So it was closer to the weekend now. Like, let's say that happened on a Monday, now it's Friday. So it's Friday and I see her and I'm like, we in class together and I'm just like, Lisa, like, come here. And she like, what? So I'm like, I think I'm ready. Like, I think I'm gonna go to Sean's house. And she was like, for real? Not ready to do it, like just ready to go over there. So she like, for real? I'm like, yeah, like I want to go over there. They said they'd be fun. He said they gonna have like some type of party this weekend over there or some shit like that. So she was just like, oh, okay. Well, who you going with? Something like, bitch, what did you mean? You said you was gonna come with me. So I'm like, you don't want to come? Like, I really would. I'm like, my homegirl want to come too, but I'm like, I would rather go with you as well. Like, she could come and we could all go. I'm like, because you've been over there, like, you know them, so it won't be just awkward and shit like that. So she was like, oh, I can't go this weekend. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, when can you go? Like, we could go another weekend. Like, you know, you said everybody be at his house. He said people be at his house all the time. Like, and she's like, I don't know, I'm gonna let you know. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm thinking like, Lisa must be on her psycho. Like, cause why'd you, what's going on, Lisa? Like, I know when I am, like, I be tripping, you know, so maybe Lisa is, that's probably why she don't want to go. So I'm just like, okay, all right, cool. So I'm like, I'm finna ditch. You want to come? She was like, no. I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I ended up leaving or whatever. And y'all, like I said, my friends would still tell me, don't talk to her, don't talk to her, don't fucking talk to her. Mind y'all, me and him been going out for like some months now. This was like way later in life, right? I mean, a lot later, but from y'all. So we've been talking for like months. So at this point, he ended up getting kicked out the school or whatever. And me and y'all. So at this point, he ended up getting kicked out the school. I never had went over there. I eventually went over there with my friend, but at this point I didn't. So this is really just more about Lisa and me. This story, like, but I'm just putting, of course Sean is in it because I gotta tell y'all why, but I'll do more stories about Sean. But anyway, so Lisa, one day, mind y'all, like after that day, Lisa would still talk to me. Like, she would just have her days. So I really thought like maybe Lisa just going through something because she'll have her days. So then she would try to talk to me, like say that next weekend after I asked her to come, she was like, cause say I was supposed to go that Friday, she didn't come with me. Then it was like next week, say like middle next week of the week, he got kicked out the school. So when he get kicked out the school, she was like, oh my God, did you hear like Sean got kicked out? But mind y'all, when he got kicked out, it was like not even at lunch. It was some shit. I think he fought in a classroom or something like that. But I knew, y'all, because I had a cell phone, and if I could find a picture, I would post the picture. Because y'all, when he got kicked out and he was trying to find a different school and he was waiting to get back in school, he used to be at home blowing my phone up. And I didn't know our minutes wasn't free until after 9. Y'all know this is a long time ago. So when I tell y'all our phone bill was high as hell, my mom took my phone away. And I didn't get another phone till like 9th grade. But y'all, anyway, neither here nor there. Like, the only reason I'm saying that is because in these pictures, in our yearbook pictures, I was on the phone. Because I was on the phone with my man. So anyway, yeah. So only how I knew is because he called my cell phone. Like, he called my cell phone. It was like midday. He called my cell phone. I'm like, hello? He like, yeah, I'm at home. I got kicked out. Da-da-da-da-da. Don't tell nobody. Da-da-da-da. So I'm like, okay. So when I seen her and she's telling me like, dang, you know, Sean got kicked out. I'm thinking like, how the fuck do she know that Sean got kicked out? So I'm like, yeah, how do you know? Like, he told me, like, I was talking to him. He called me. She was like, he called you? I'm like, yeah, he called me when he got home. He told me, like, how do you know? Like, you know, I don't think he wanted people to know. And she was just like, oh, The cousin told her. Mind you, this bitch don't have no phone. So how the fuck did the cousin tell you? So I'm like, how did he tell you? She was like, well, I was walking to go to the dean's office. She was like, I was walking to go to the dean's office and I seen his cousin up here with his mama and they had told me or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, like, dang, that's so annoying. Like, oh my God, I'm never gonna see him again. You know, I'm basically saying that. I'm just talking to her. I'm like, dang, now I'm really gonna have to go to his house. Mind y'all, at this point, when I seen her, because me and her only had first period together, but when I was talking to her, it's because I ended up ditching to the classroom she was in because that was a turned up class period at that time. So that's why me and her was up in there both talking. So she like, yeah, da 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 da. So are you gonna go to his house? So I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, like, I'm like, I really don't know. So I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to now, because how else am I gonna see him? Like, unless he come up to the school to come see me after school, but you know, so she was just like, oh, okay. Like, you know, so that goes on. That happens, right? The next day, I'm at school, because my job, I used to, like, kind of talk to her and stuff like that, tell her about him. So, the next day, we talk first period, boom, whatever. It's lunchtime now, right? I see her at lunch talking to Sean's ex-girlfriend. So she talking to them, big talking to them, laughing, kikiing and shit on the yard. So I'm just like, what? My homegirl was like, see, I told you, like, you should not trust her. She's cool with her. Like, and then my other friends was like, yeah, I always be seeing them together, da 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 da. So I'm like, well, maybe they cool because she talked to Sean's cousin, you know, she used to talk to Sean, so they probably just always been cool. Like, you know, I can't be mad at that. Like, I can't expect her to stop being friends with people because I'm the new girl. Like, you know, so they like, nah, don't trust her. Like, they really was telling me, and after me seeing that, I really should have stopped talking to this girl. But I didn't. So anyway, one day, it was like coming up to the weekend, and she was just like telling me all this shit, like, I don't know, it was like a few days. She was just telling me like, oh, you should stop talking to Sean, you should stop this, you should stop that, like, you shouldn't talk to him no more, he this, he that. I was over there last weekend, and mind y'all, when she told me that, I was feeling some type of way, because I'm just thinking like, I thought you told me you was gonna tell me when you go over there so I could come with you, like, we could meet up. So she was like, I was over there, Sean had a girl there, da 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 da. Like, she used to just say all this shit. So I'm like, for real? And she was like, yeah. Like, she was just telling me all this stuff, like, why I shouldn't talk to Sean, right? And I'm just like, oh my God. So y'all, what I do, not stop talking to Sean? Like, I would just tell Sean what she told me and be like, Sean, what's up with that? And y'all, for the longest, let me just tell y'all what song had me in a chokehold for the longest, and I used to cry. Can't Breathe by Jay Holiday. That I can't breathe when you touching me. That song, oh my God. Because y'all, remember late night when the TV, like when the music videos would be on, like slow jams and shit like that? I swear I would be laying down, the TV would be on, we'd be on the phone, and he'd be like talking and telling me all this shit, and I would be thinking about how, man, this man is cheating on me. Because it wasn't just like, I started hearing shit about him with other girls at the school, like, and with his ex-girlfriend. Like, I started hearing about so much shit. He didn't even go to the damn school no more. And now I'm thinking like, damn, because he started going to a new school. So I'm just thinking like, this boy's just wilding out, Wild Out Wednesday, huh? So I swear it seemed like every time we would get into a deep conversation or he'd call me, that song would be playing. And for the longest, I couldn't listen to that song. I used to skip by like, I don't want to hear this Jay Holiday shit, because I can't breathe when that man is cheating on me, you know, whatever. But anyway, and y'all, anyway. So like I said, she used to tell me shit, and I would just go back on the phone and talk to him at night and cry. So yeah. So she used to tell me that. So one day she was like, yeah, when she was over there, he had a girl over there. So I'm just like, why you didn't tell me? Like, basically, fuck what you said about the girl. Why you didn't tell me you was going over there? So I'm like, why you didn't tell me you was going? I would have went with you. And she was like, oh, because it was last minute. Like, his cousin just wanted me to come over there. He wasn't even there. So I'm like, so why'd you stay? And she was like, because anyway, like, but he had a girl there. You shouldn't talk to him. And you know, like, she used to ask me, like, are you going to have sex with him? Like, I was like, no. Like, that was not on my mind at all. So I'm like, She used to be like, well, she's doing it with him, so you might as well just leave him alone and let them be, because he took her virginity and da 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 da. Like, she used to say all this shit. And I used to be thinking like, bitch, are you my friend or hers? Because why do you care? Why do you care? Who is this girl? Like, somebody, who the girl? She go here? And she'd be like, I don't know, Symone. Like, how you don't know, but you know all this information about the girl. So I used to be like, Lisa. So when I would tell her, like, well, I talked to him, he said this didn't happen, so I'm gonna believe what he said. Like, she seemed like she would get so mad. So little by little, she stopped talking to me. Like, she was, but she wasn't. It was just weird. But then she would kind of like talk to me and want to ask me my business. Like, so you and Sean was on the phone last night. How long y'all be on the phone? Like, it would be weird, but the vibe was just so different. So at this point, I started kind of paying attention. I thought she was getting information for the ex-girlfriend. But listen, y'all, listen. So I started feeding her shit because I'm like, I want you to run back and tell whoever it is that want to know this shit. Like, yeah, you know, when you tell people shit you want to be repeated. So I'm telling her shit like, oh yeah, and Sean did this. Oh my God, like at this point, me and my friend had went over there, and I was like, oh my God, we had fun, and we went to the store, and he bought me some chips, and this, you know, I'm just saying shit, and she just like, what? I'm like, yeah, I went to Jesse Owens to go night swimming, and he met me up there, and this, that, and the third, and she like, oh my God, she used to seem so annoyed, and when she was seeming so annoyed, I'm thinking it's because her homegirl fucked with him, and she about to repeat this shit to that bitch, right? So one day, it was like, say this was like 2 days after that, I fed her just so much shit. And I was putting extras on it, like shit that didn't even happen. Yeah, he tied my shoe. Yeah, I fell and scraped my knee, and he ran home and got a Band-Aid and came back. Yeah, he beat up a dog for me. Like, you know, I'm just saying all this shit. I'm putting it on thick, like, yeah, he changed my grandma's tire. Yeah, he bought my mama some McDonald's. Yeah, my little sister wanted a Happy Meal. He got that shit. Like, you know, I'm just doing the most. I'm lying at this point because I'm like, feed it back. I could see how annoyed she was getting. I'm thinking she getting annoyed for her friend. So, like 2 days later happened, right? First period comes, she didn't talk to me. I'm like, whatever. And I was about to be first to talk to her because I started to realize our friendship was she really wanted information, which my friends warned me about in the beginning. But come to my surprise, it wasn't for no friend. So I go to my third period. Remember the class that Tats was in and that Sean was in before he got kicked out the school? So I'm in third period. And mind y'all, my third period class, she had it second period. So she had it just before me, right? So I'm in the class, I'm sitting there, Tats come over to me and he was like, Symone, like, what's up? And I'm just like, what's up? But he got that smile on his face. I'm just like, what's up? He like, dang, you miss my nigga Sean? I'm like, well, yeah, but I do be seeing him at Jesse Owens, so, you know, like, and he just like, oh, okay, all right. You and Lisa still be talking? So I'm like, sometimes, like, why? Like, I'm trying to think where he going with this. And he was like, oh, here, she left her composition book in here under the desk. You could take it to her. And I was all like, oh, remember the composition book in the beginning, right? That she used as a diary? So I'm like, oh, okay. He's smiling. And he handed it to me. And I was like, what's funny? He was like, she just be writing some crazy shit in there. I was nosy. I was looking in there. He's like, but, you know, you could go ahead and give it to her, y'all. I'm just like, okay. You know, it's being weird. So my nosy self, because this was in the beginning of the class when he gave this to me. So my nosy self was like, okay, I'm gonna see what's in there because he's being all weird. Y'all, when I tell y'all my heart broke a million times. There was an ice box where my heart used to be. Oh, Marriott, look. So I open it up. I'm reading. You know, it's a journal straight to dates, and I'm reading. Sean. Hold up, what's Sean's name here? Sean. I'm skimming through it. First I was skimming through it. I was like reading the first few pages, then I started skimming through it because there was nothing really in there I care about. Skimming through, I see Sean. So I said, hold on, let me go back. Why is my man's name in here? I'm reading it. Y'all, this bitch was in there talking about how much she loves Sean. He make other girls his girlfriend and not her. She lost her virginity to Sean. She was the bitch that she was telling me about, that I should let have him because she did this, that, and the third. I was like, when I tell y'all my heart dropped, y'all know when y'all get that butterfly feeling, but it starts to feel like moths because it starts to feel like you finna shit on yourself and you start feeling in pain and be like, why do I feel like this? I start getting that feeling, and as I'm reading, and I would look up occasionally and I'll see, I was gonna say his name, I would see Tats looking back at me like this, just smiling, like looking back like with the biggest smile, like yes, like read that shit. So I'm heartbroken. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm hot, like I'm really hot as fuck reading all this shit. Like she was talking about me in there, like I don't even do my hair, I don't be having my nails done, because like I said, I wasn't girly, I wasn't doing none of that. I wasn't getting my I got my nails done, but it wouldn't be often. Like if I go get my nails done, because I would sometimes go with my sister, but it wasn't often. Like I said, eyebrows, I was not getting them arched every so often, and my eyebrows is shaped like a McDonald's sign, and I be having a unibrow. It's not the cutest, let's just be real. So I'm reading there. She talking shit. She calling me ugly. She saying this. She sound flat chested. Y'all, she talking shit. She just talking so much shit. Talk about I cried to Sean and he laughed. Like, it was just so much shit in there. After I had sex with him, he's not trying to talk to me no more. How could he have her over there? Da 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 da. I bought his mom a peach cobbler when I came over. Like, it was just so much shit up in there. She was talking so much shit about me, calling me dumb bitches for telling my business to her. Like, this bitch, it'd be funny because sometimes when we'll be talking, she'll be writing her journal like, oh my God, girl. And now I see you was writing, calling me a dumb bitch for venting to you, for trusting. Yeah, I was, okay? But you was an even dumber bitch. Because how you leave something like that around? Like, why you didn't get that little journal they used to have at the store where you got to open it with your voice or put your thumb or something like that? Like, why would you use this? So I'm just like, and why you didn't just keep it at home? So I'm just like, my heart is beating fast. I don't even want to do no work. Teacher, fuck whatever you talking about. I ain't doing it. I didn't used to ditch this class. I take this class serious. It's like a history class or whatever. So I'm just like, this point, I don't want to do shit. I'm just mad. I'm trying to think, what the fuck am I going to do? Am I going to confront her? You know, I'm just so mad. I'm trying to think, like, what am I going to do? I'm stuck in this class. I don't know what class she in right now, but I can't go confront her because I don't know where she's at. Only time I'm gonna see her again is at lunch. So I'm just thinking like, what the fuck I'ma do? What the fuck I'ma do? I was so hot because it's like, bitch, I thought you was my friend. I don't know why I thought that, but y'all, I thought that. So I'm sitting there. Next thing you know, when you could tell I'm kind of annoyed because I'm just sitting there staring into space. And Tats come over there to me and he was just like, she got some crazy shit in there, huh? And I'm just like, yeah. And he just like, that's crazy. But Sean don't want that bitch. Like, he do not want her. And before anybody say Tats probably wrote it, no, he did not write it. It was her handwriting. Like, we had the same class. I knew her handwriting. So I'm just like, and it was stuff in there, of course, Tats would have not known. So I'm just like, right. I'm like, so how did you get this again? He was like, she left it under the seat. Y'all know you said know how under the seat could put your books and stuff. So I'm like, dang, it's like, this just fell into my lap. Like, she left this shit under the seat. And this other boy started saying something because they was all reading it before I came in there. So I'm just thinking like, oh, I'm just a clown. Y'all just all know my business now. Okay, I was crying to Can't Breathe. I would tell her, I cannot listen to that song. And she would be like, how does a Jay Holiday song make her cry? Like, y'all, and I'm just like, and I wanted to cry then because like I said, I was so emotional. I was holding it in because I'm like, I don't want these motherfuckers to see me sweat. So they just like, yeah, that's crazy. She was talking shit about a lot of people at the school too, but the only person I really cared about was the parts about me and Sean. So y'all, it's lunchtime, so they like, what you gonna do? They really like hyping me up now. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna confront her? This is Tats. You gonna fight her? You should just fight her. You should just see her and just take off on her. This, that, and that, and the third. This, that, and that. Just saying all this shit. Mind you, it's 8th grade year. I didn't graduate no way because I was always ditching. But I ended up having to go to summer school for that. But I was just like, you know what? Nah, I had it figured out. I know what I'm gonna do. So lunchtime come, I'm irritated. I see my homegirls and I told them what happened. I'm like, look at the book. So they reading it. They're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. So I'm like, yep, that's crazy. But I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. They like, what you gonna do? So when it got close to like when the bell's gonna ring and people start walking, because everybody, you come in to the yard at one gate and everybody leave out on a different gate. Like, it was an exit that everybody go through. So when they start getting close to leave, I got the book and I started walking around to where everybody was at. All the people, all the like, you know, like popular people or just people period, like groups of people that I knew was in the book or just people period. Even by Sean's ex-girlfriend. I started ripping the pages out and throwing them everywhere. I ripped the pages out, was throwing them everywhere. And I was just talking shit and I was just throwing it all over the yard. Y'all, when I think about it, that was kind of messed up because, y'all, she was so embarrassed. People was picking the pages up and reading them. People was picking the pages up and reading them. She has so much beef with people because it's some people seeing their name in there or other random people just picking it up and reading it because they looking like, what the fuck? And they reading it and they like telling people like, oh, this da-da-da-da-da book and this, that, and the third. Because they would be like, wait, who book is that? And I'll say, Lisa's. Like, you know, and I'm just throwing it around. Y'all. Y'all, after lunch, remember I told y'all Lisa class was like 2 doors by me. So I waited until I knew people was in a classroom. Lisa was in her class. I walked in that motherfucking class and I tossed that book at her. Like, I didn't hit her with it. I tossed it on the desk with no pages in it and just tossed it on the desk. And I looked at her and I just walked off. When I tell y'all, she started crying. She hurried up and got out and ran out the classroom. And everybody was just laughing because people knew like what happened or whatever. So y'all, I knew going to my class why the dean called me to the, I get called to the office. This bitch went and told Tattletale. So she told or whatever. She told. So I went in the dean's office. Y'all, we said a fine dean. His name was Mr. Sample. He was cute. So anyway, I go up in there and I'm just like this. No, he probably was thinking like, okay, Unibrow, why are you doing this? But y'all, because I didn't really get sent to the dean's office. Kind of like if I talked back to a teacher or shit like that. But I wasn't in drama with like other students. So I get in there, he asked me what happened. And I started telling him the tea. I'm like, well, blah, blah, blah was my boyfriend. And she went over there and had sex with him. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I did not ask all of that. I'm asking, why'd you go throw this girl's journal all over the yard? So I'm just like, well, because she was pretending to be my friend, and then she was talking to da-da-da-da-da, and he's like, he don't even go here no more, because mind you, he used to get into a lot of trouble, so all the deans and shit knew him. So he's like, he don't even go here, y'all are fighting over a boy, y'all are little girls, da-da-da-da, you know I'm gonna have to call your mom. My heart froze. Come on, mom. You gonna call who? No. No. Why are you calling her? So I'm like, what? And he like, yeah, I'm gonna call your mom. So he calls her cell phone. She didn't answer because she was at work. And next thing you know, so he was like, I got another number on here. Should I leave him? I said, call the other number, because I knew he was going to call the house phone. I'm like, fuck. So he called the other number. My heart stopped. All that big bad shit I was woofing is gone out the window. Just so happened my sister answered. Why she wasn't at school, I don't know. But maybe it was an early day for her. I don't fucking know why she wasn't at school. So she answered the phone. He tell her like, yeah, blah, blah. Because I guess old girl told him she was going to fight me after school. So he told her like, yeah, Symone is probably somebody could come get her because planning a fight. You know, all this other stuff. Like he said all this shit. So my sister was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna come up there. So I'm thinking like, please don't tell my mom. But at the same time, she used to snitch on me and get me in trouble. Like, it's a situation I'm gonna tell y'all about that happened with Sean and this snitch ass bitch. But anyway, we cool now. So we go, like, she ended up coming up there. She came up there. I don't know how she got there. She had no car. She probably caught the bus. I don't know. By the time she did get there, it was close to me getting out of school. So she just waited around when the bell rang. That's when she was like, okay, let's go. So we walk in. She want to walk through the class. She like, where this bitch at that want to fight you? Where's she at that want to fight you? So I'm just like, okay, come on then. Like, you know, like, let's go. So we walk over. We end up seeing her. And she looking sad as hell. So she like, you trying to fight my sister? Like, she was like, what? And she was like, you trying to fight my sister? And she was like, she's fake, because why would she put my, like, just talking shit? She was like, okay, I don't care about none of that. Like, you know, she was just like, and then she was like, do you want to fight her or no? So I'm just thinking like, hold on, wait, I'm fighting? Like, bitch, I thought you was taking me. I thought you, what did you mean? So anyway, the girl was just like, ain't nobody about to fight her. I just feel like it's messed up because we were friends. And so she's like, Symone, that was your friend? And she was like, and it's all over Sean, a boy. And now it's just really, and she was like, over a boy? Like, I'm just thinking like, bitch, did you come here to like, what did you, why are you, let's go. So anyway, we ended up leaving. And she like, oh, you know, I'm going to tell. Like, bitch, what do you mean you going to tell? Like, what is your problem? So anyway, we ended up going home. That was that or whatever. I didn't get suspended. She didn't get suspended. And yeah, that was that. I didn't go to school the next day though. But after that, me and her did not talk. It wasn't no smoke. We did not fight. But we just never talked again. Like, we never talked ever again. Because it was just like, that shit, like, bitch, you got me fucked up. Like, first of all, bitch, you got me fucked up, y'all. But I just felt so bad. Because I'm the type of person that if somebody do something to me and I react, like now, I let karma get people. I don't even go out of my way to try to do anything to nobody. But it really depends. But I haven't been in a situation where it would depend. But with that situation now, I probably wouldn't have did all of that. But I was in middle school, so whatever. So I don't know, like, I felt bad then because I'm just like, damn, everybody know her business. When we went back to school, like, when I did eventually, because I think that happened probably like a Thursday. I didn't go to Friday, so I went back Monday. People, like, she had beef with people. Like, it was people she had beef with. Her and Sean's ex-girlfriend, they wasn't talking no more because, mind y'all, she had shit about her in the book. She had shit about everybody in the book. Mind y'all, other boys at the school she was talking to, she had shit. Like, it was just beef with her and other people. Like, so I just felt like everybody should know how fake you was. Like, you smiling in people's face, but yet you talking to their niggas and you linking up with their boyfriends and going to their house and doing all this other shit. Because it wasn't just Sean in there. Like, it was other people in there. And then, like, come to find out, this cousin was never he didn't have a cousin named that. So I don't know why that day when he walked into my class and I told him about the cousin she said she talked to, I don't know why he didn't just tell me like, Symone, I don't got no cousin named that. And you know what? So when I asked him about it, he denied it, of course. And then he eventually told me, like, oh, we tried to, but she was crying or something like that. Like, it didn't work. Like, we didn't really do it like that. Like, some shit like that. Like, you know, and then she started, it was a rumor, y'all. It was a rumor that she was pregnant by him. It was just a lot. And he was just like, man, what the fuck? Like, that bitch is a liar. She really used to go to school and be like this. And it was like, in middle school was one girl that was pregnant, though. But oh, girl was not pregnant. Like, she really was lying. Like, people was like, y'all, she is lying. Like, she's not pregnant by him. She used to just say that. And I don't know if she thought, mind you, at this point, she don't know if I still talk to him or not, because he don't go to the school no more. But, and me and her don't talk. But I don't know. It was just weird, y'all. But like I said, I got a lot of stories when it comes down to Sean, because even later in life, me and Sean linked. And when I tell y'all, it was not giving what everybody was acting like that over. It was not giving. But no, we besides that, we did have a lot of cool times together. Like, he was cool, but I have a lot of crazy stories with Sean because, y'all, like I said, yeah. But anyway, that's it. I wanted to do a throwback because one of my younger supporters had asked me, like, can you do a story about from when you was in school? And I thought about this time and I was like, oh, this was funny. So yeah. But yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's hot as hell and I'm gonna go. Yeah. Thank you guys. Peace out.